we are going to do Google stuff. And Denise is doing this as well. We're doing this together. And this is beginner Google stuff. So if you are a Google hero, you don't need us, right? But if you are a Google beginner, you might need us. I've been using Google for a long time in a Google suite at my school, so I know some stuff. So hopefully this is helpful for you. We are going to get immersed in the world of Google tools, and we're going to walk through just the basics of Google. Okay, so how to begin. So you need to set up a Gmail account. We just Googled how to set up a Google account, and this magic thing came up telling you exactly how to set up a Google account. Okay, you go to the Google account creation page, they give you the link there. You follow the steps on the screen and you set up your account. It's really easy, all right? So setting up a Google account is not hard. And we're gonna pull up a Google account. But if you'll look over to this side, you have all these things here that you can take a look at. So you have your drive. You have shared drives that if you're an RJD or an SJD, you have access to. You have a shared with me drive, so that if I have a document and I share it with you, it's going to appear here instead of in your drive. The things in your drive are private to you unless you share them with somebody else, okay? Then over here on this magic little waffly thing, you have all the Google apps. There's like 1 million Google tools that you can use. And the drive is where you're going to store all your files. You have a Google Calendar that can organize all your stuff, and if you're in a Google suite, you can share that calendar with other people in your suite, and it makes scheduling really easy. You have a Google Chat, which you can just send a chat message to somebody and they can open it up, and you can have a kind of an email exchange, but it's kind of more like a text message thing. Okay, you have Google Meets, which work just like Zoom. It's different to navigate than Zoom, but it works pretty much the same. You can share a PowerPoint and a presentation. So when we get to shared documents, I'll show you Denise and I and Bonnie Sinnell and Jim Burton are all on the election committee for NAWGJ. And so when we work on something, Jim and Bonnie live like way the heck over this way on the East Coast, and we live way over there on the West Coast. So we get on this googly thing, and we can talk to each other, we can see each other, we can share a document. We're all in the same shared document, so I can see Denise's cursor and Jim's cursor and Bonnie's cursor. It has their little pictures on them, or an icon with an initial on them. So we can see where each other are in the same document, and we can work together on that document really easily. So that's a really big plus. The docs are just documents that you can create. The sheets are like Excel spreadsheets, only they're Google spreadsheets. Okay, you have a Google Slides program, and the Google Slides are pretty user-friendly. Okay, Google Forms are little questionnaires. Teachers use it for quizzes and stuff like that, and it drops all the information automatically into a spreadsheet for you. So it's really cool. Okay, so if you are looking for a document on a Google Drive, it's pretty easy to search for a document. So if you go to your drive, you can just search for, if I search for bylaws, so I can find the document that I need, click on it, and then just continue to work in it. Okay, so pretty easy to find things in your Google Drive. You have the ability to put your documents in folders so you can organize them and hopefully find them again, which is always good. If you share something with somebody, it's going to be in a different place. So make sure you think about, was this a shared document? Did Anne send me this document and it was shared with me? Or is it my document and it's in my drive? So if I sent it to you or somebody else sent it to you, it'll be in this shared with me drive. Okay, I know it's a whole bunch of stuff at once, and we'll start to immerse ourselves in it, and then we'll all come together. So now we're going to talk about sharing documents. So I have this Google handout. So in this Google handout, if you're in this space, and I have your email. I can put it in here, so I can share this with Denise, and I can decide whether I want her to be an editor or a viewer or a commenter. So I can restrict access or give access right here with that share button. And if I share it with her, I can send her a message as well. And that will then appear immediately pretty much. And she's outside of, I've sent it to her regular Gmail. So that's outside of the Google Suite. So it's giving me a warning. Do I want to really send that outside of the suite? Yes, I do. So I'm going to push share anyway. And that'll appear in her shared with me drive. Okay, so she can jump right in there and I can see that she's there. And this is so useful when you're working across the country or just within your region. You know, you can send out an agenda to your state committee. You can say, here's the agenda, you know, do you have any comments? I'm going to be in the document for the next 10 minutes. Let me know what you want to do. And you can, without talking to each other, you can send these messages back and forth and, you know, maybe decide, okay, that we're going to get that off the agenda or we'll put this on or whatever. So here's a board of directors minutes. So let's take a look at this. So this document is shared with me, but if you notice, it says right here, restricted, only people with access can open the links. And Denise could also restrict access to me so that I couldn't type in it and mess up her minutes, because that would be a bad thing. So the other thing that you have the ability to do is you have this comments box up here. So when you're in these documents, you can edit the document directly. You see that editing seems to be grayed out for me, so maybe I can't edit it. I can maybe suggest things. So I can suggest that maybe she spelled someone's name wrong, or something like that. Then I can view the document. There's usually also one that says comments. So you can also use comments. So I can comment on something in the document. It will highlight that area, and then Denise can see that comment, and she can choose to accept what I've suggested in the comment, or to resolve it, or to ignore it. We found when we had multiple things that we were commenting on, the comments boxes, we had so many stacked up in the margin that they weren't next to the thing we were commenting on. So for us, it was easier for everybody to choose a different ink color, which you can change right up here. And we'd change our text color, so I'd type in one color and Denise would type in another and Jim would type in another and Bonnie one more, so that we knew who was typing, and we'd just type right in the document and make the suggestions in the document. But if it's a document that you've already formatted, then we might not want to do that because we mess up her formatting, and then the comments boxes are better. But if you're really working with a document and you have a lot of stuff to do, sometimes typing in the document with different colors works better. So, or using suggestions instead of comments. We already talked about sharing files. We clicked on that blue share button in the corner of our document. So let me just show you again. If I was in my Google Drive, I wanted to make a new document, I just go to New, and I can make a new folder. I can make a new doc, I can make a new sheet, I can make a slideshow, I can choose a Google form. Okay, so I'm going to choose to do Google Doc. So I can title this document, okay? Then I can share this document, and I can share it with Denise. I can share it with, let's see, Jim. Oh, well, let's see. Do I want them to edit my document, or do I want them to view it, or do I want them to be commenters? I think I'll let them be edit. Oh, you want me? Yeah. I'll try commenters. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm going to share externally anyway. Okay, so we can work with this document, so we can edit it directly. Denise can make some comments on it. Okay. No, I can do it right now if we're working together right now, or later I can come in and I can say, oh, Denise made a comment. She says this is really good. I'm gonna accept that suggestion, or I can reject it. So I like that suggestion, so I'm gonna leave it in there. Okay, so the comments are an easy way for you to work on a document together when you might not be working on it at the same time, and you might be having to leave the document and check back in later, and you can just have your friend make a series of comments and suggestions on your document. You can go in later, choose to accept or reject the different comments, and then you'll have kind of a history. And that makes it a little easier to work at different times. And if Jim's still up on the East Coast, and he can work on it at a different time, and when he gets up earlier than we do, then he can work on it, and then we can access it later and take a look at it.
And I can't remember, when we close out of that, is it autosave?
It is.
It is, so you don't have to worry like, oops, I
You
didn't
don't
save
have
it.
to, yeah, Google is
right
magical that way, yeah. Editors can delete documents, yeah. There's another way you can protect your document, and that's to leave a copy in your drive only, and then make a copy and share the copy. So you have an original, so you can always go back to the original. Yeah. In my school all the time, people forget to make a copy on a fillable document. I usually put make a copy on the front of the document, so I just sent out the confidentiality and conflict of interest statements for the SJDs and the state committees. And on the front of that fillable document, I wrote make a copy, so that they knew that they needed to make a copy. And even if they don't, I have the original saved in my drive, so if they happen to type in it, I can either just take their typing out or pull up the original document and send it again. So over here under File, so here you can make a copy. There is a version history as well. Right here is the version history. So you can look at the current version, you can name your version and go back to it, so you can date it and go back to that version history. So if you're working in it, and you can save that version history and then keep working in the document and go back and compare it to your version history. And then you can take a look and see the version history. So you can see all the times that Anne messed around and worked in this slide presentation, and when Denise was in there working on it. And so for any version, if I thought, oh, Denise made a really good comment on that earlier one, I want to go back and look at that. Okay, you can go ahead and do that, and then you can save that earlier history if you want to. If there was too much stuff in the later one, or you just didn't want all those comments, you can go back and the comments you can delete later on anyway. But okay, so the version history is a nice thing also. Okay, so this is how to make a copy. So this is the conflict and confidentiality form that we use for NAWGJ board members. So I said right on it, make a copy, hoping that people would make a copy. So if I'm going to fill this out, I'm going to make a copy. I'm going to name the copy, okay, because the copy is going to be my version. So I'm going to put my initials. I'm going to put AH, confidentiality, and conflict 2023. So you see here's my original document right here up on this tab, and here's my copy right here. So I can make that copy. I can then share that copy with Anne because she needs it. Yeah. So then you can share that copy with whoever needs it. You can convert Google Docs to PDFs. So right here, so if we go to the doc for Denise and we go to the file, when you ask to make a copy, then you can download it in any type of document. Thanks, you guys. So this is a Google form. So this is a form that I sent out to all the SJDs for this last election, and I asked them what were the positions that they had on their state committees, and so that I was ready for the election. I got 26 responses. Those responses come up for me like this, so I can go down here and see who all sent this to me, and I can look at each separate question separately by going down here like this, and it gives you nice graphs and colorful things and stuff, and yeah, all of that. But you can also view it in sheets. So it will drop all that information into a sheet. So this is the spreadsheet that comes out of that Google form that I sent to all these folks telling me what their positions were. Tells those, 5 to 9 positions that they want for their state committee. Okay, Denise, do you mind doing spreadsheets? I have this one if you want to mess with it. It's
Sorry, Google Sheets is much like an Excel document. So if you've done Excel spreadsheets, you know that you can do sorting on your columns. You can do the math, like adding up a column. Oh, you could rotate the text. You can make the alignment different. You can do all those things that you were able to do. You can bold them. So if I change the margins of each thing, like pull it over and it's too narrow, you can hit this column and then you can do text wrapping right here. But what I use it for with membership is if you have a column of numbers and you want to add them up, like all the checks come in and I put how much they are, you just, highlight the boxes that you want. You go to the function key, which is right here, and then you can just sum it. And that's really nice because I can say, oh, I've renewed, $59,000 worth of memberships in the last month, it feels like. It's much like an Excel document. You can do the same thing with borders. You can highlight the box and put squares around it with borders. Okay.
So we do have an all-access drive for RJDs and SJDs. And let me quickly show you that. So under My Drive, we have My Drive and Shared With Me, which anybody can use. So those are available to everybody, and those are really good tools. For NAWGJ, we have shared drives. So we have an all-access National Governing Board drive. It just has all kinds of folders with stuff that we use to keep records. All those confidentiality forms are in here, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so we put our board reports for Denise in here. We have some clinic presentations and different things like that that RJDs and SJDs can access. Okay. Google Slides, if you push new, if I want to make a new slide presentation, it's really easy. Google Slides are pretty easy. I think they're easier than PowerPoint or the old Word slides or whatever they are. So easy to access and easy to use. So if Anne can use them, anybody can use them. So this is the Google Classroom. So the Google Classroom just has things about Google Sheets. It's got a guy that knows all about Google Sheets, and he's going to tell you all about Google Sheets. It's got some gal that's going to tell you about Google Forms and how to make a Google form. It's got Google Docs. It's got 3 people telling you the tips and tricks and how to do everything right there. Okay, there's organizing Google Files, things about organization. There's Google Workspace and Google Suite. Okay, Google Calendar, how to manage your Google Calendar. So just in case you can't fit all the stuff that I'm saying into your head right now, it's all right here. So if you want your name in that Google Classroom, I can just put it in. There's people over here from long ago that are in this Google Classroom. I'll put you in, and I will also update the classroom because it's not been updated for a little while. Okay, so this is the classroom code. So if you go to your Google Classroom icon, all you need to do is click on the plus button in the upper right-hand corner, type in this code, and it should get you into the classroom. You can click on an icon here, or you can just do classroom.google.com, I think is what it is. Click this plus button, put in that code, say join class. It'll ask for the class code. You just put in that code and you're in.